Photography is more accessible now than it has ever been to anybody. Literally anybody can be a photographer with the phones in their pockets, a cheap camera from Costco, cheap used cameras. Anybody can be a photographer now. And I think that is truly a wonderful, wonderful thing. The ability to express yourself and create art that is just beautiful and simple and easy to share. The world is just open for all of us to become photographers. One of the problems that I'm starting to notice is that, yes, anybody can take pictures, but maybe not everybody can process or edit them in a way that makes them look professional. There's a couple of telltale signs that I'm seeing in photos shared online. One specifically that really says this is an amateur photograph, and it's in masking. And I want to show you what that telltale sign looks like and how to avoid it. It's really, really very simple. So let's take a look at this photograph and just kind of talk through some things. This is a photograph I took recently on my road trip, and I'll do a full, complete summary of that trip shortly. But this was in Monterey Bay. I was there for 2 nights, and this incredible sunset happened at this little walkway going out toward the ocean. And I just love, love, love this photograph. And I thought this would be a good one to show the problems that I'm seeing in some other photographs. So if we go into masking here, this is an incredibly powerful tool in Lightroom and other photography editors, but masking is one of the best ways to really make your image pop. And this is a finished photograph, and I have my own mask in there, so this is just a copy of it. But I just wanted to show you, if we come down to radial gradient, this is one of the most popular masks that is used, and sometimes it's very, very obvious that a radial gradient was used. And so if we click on that, we can see that we get some settings here, and we have our feather setting. I want to show you what that might look like. So let's say that we have our sun setting over here. So let's say we wanted to create a mask that kind of accentuates that sunlight coming in and kind of falling across this bridge and into this area over here, maybe this grassy area, and the light on this other railing here. So to do that, we would create a radial gradient, and we have this feathering tool here. You can see when we bring the feathering tool down, it makes this more of a circle or an oval. And if we bring that up, then it feathers that out a little bit. And just look what happens here. So let's say we have it like this, feathered all the way down at 29, and we increase the exposure. We can start to see that there's a very obvious circle that's drawn. And this is what I'm seeing. Maybe there's a certain element in the photograph, or something that, maybe it's a boat in the ocean, or the sails on a boat. What'll happen is people will draw this radial gradient around that thing and then increase the exposure of it, which is the general idea. That is what you're supposed to do. But what it does is creates that increase of exposure on everything. And so one way to get around that is to feather it out. Let's just bring that feather up to 100%. And that, like, again, extremes are generally avoided in photography editing, not always, but it just gives you a good idea. You can also grab this little dot here and adjust the feather like this. Typically, if I'm doing a radial gradient, I keep that feather pretty low, unless there's a reason not to. And sometimes there is that reason, but generally I keep that pretty low, probably right around 70%, somewhere in there. Now, the other thing we can do when we're working with radial gradients is you can see that the sky is included in this gradient, and we also illuminate this railing here, which wouldn't be the case if we wanted the sunlight to fall across this bridge and illuminate this railing. Would make sense, but this one wouldn't make sense for the light to be hitting the railing from this angle. So how do we deal with that? Well, to get rid of the sky in a radial gradient, it's really quite simple. We just have our mask selected here, click this little down arrow here, and we have our add and subtract. So we're just going to click the subtract button and subtract sky. And just like that, you'll be able to see it up here in the little representation of what that mask looks like. And you'll also see it if you do the show overlay. But what we've done is remove the sky from this little gradient mask. So now when we adjust it, you can see that it's only affecting the part of the mask that is not sky. Super powerful tool. So now you can see also that when we increase the exposure, we're increasing the exposure on that fence. And that really wouldn't make a lot of sense. And there's a couple of ways to do that. And again, we would go into our mask, we would subtract again, and there's different ways that we can subtract. We could use a brush and paint out that fence, which might be an option. Another way is to select an object. And so if we select remove an object, now there's a couple of ways that we can do this. We can paint across the object that we want removed, or you can draw a box around the object that you want removed. In this case, I think painting it out would make more sense. We can adjust the size of our paintbrush circle here. So I would bring this down here to about the size of the railing that we want to remove, and then just draw across the railing. I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't tried this before starting this video, but let's just draw across this railing and let's just see if it does it. Didn't do a great job. You can see that it selected the bottom portion, which is great. So if it fails, which sometimes it does, then let's go to subtract and grab the brush. And we're going to keep that brush about the same size. And here again, we can play with the feathering and the flow and density. The higher this is, the more the mask that's going to be removed. The lower this is, the less of the mask that's going to be removed. So I want to remove a good portion of the mask, or all of it, across this fence line here. So feather, I don't want, like, see when we increase it, then we get this feathering around. I'll make this bigger so you can see it, but we get this feathering around our little paintbrush circle. That can make sense in certain cases, but in this one, when we're trying to move an object, I'm going to keep that feathering all the way down, and I'm going to remove or lower the size, reduce the size of this brush to somewhere roughly the size of this railing here. And so then let's just paint out that railing. Super simple. And then we might reduce the size a little bit just to get this one and this one. So now when we adjust this mask, for adjusting the exposure of this mask, it's only doing the part that makes the most sense. It's doing the grass behind, it's doing the walkway, and this tends to be a more realistic looking mask. So I don't think I would make it this extreme, but just to show it in this example. So if we were to pump that exposure up, you can see that we can't really tell, if I turn off this overlay, we can't really tell where that gradient starts and stops, where that mask starts and stops. Now, if we were to go back into our mask and adjust the feathering, then it would be much more prominent. You can see that we have a very prominent line there, and that just doesn't look natural or good. So we just up that feathering to make it look much more natural. And that is going to really help your photographs stand out and not be labeled immediately as a potentially amateur photograph. It's just going to give that extra level of professionalism, and just anything we can do to just make our photograph look a little bit more professional, I think is a good thing. And yeah, there's a learning curve. I look back on some of my old photos and I can tell where I place radial gradients, but I think just a good rule of thumb is when you're masking, make the mask invisible. And if you can see it, then somebody else can see it. So play with the feathering, play with the remove tool, and use that masking to just very subtly accent certain areas of your photograph rather than draw a circle around them and highlight certain things, unless that's what you're going for. If it is, fine, then you're going to be just fine. but just wanted to share a couple of really quick, easy tools to make masking look just a little bit more professional and just really polish those photographs.